Hi everyone, welcome back again. I'm doing a good few videos this week and I'm enjoying it. The last couple of weeks I've just been so busy and a bit all over the place, so I didn't have time for the bikes, but I'm really enjoying working on this BMW. So today, what I want to do is I want to get the thermostat back in here. Oh, come on. I want to get the thermostat back in the housing, and I believe the new switch is on its way today and going to be delivered. So that's good. I'm going to clean up the sender unit. That just tells the gauge how hot it is. But if it's not engaging properly, then you might not get a good reading. So I'll give that a good clean up. And then I want to make sure this is fully sealed. So I think that's kind of good and ready to go. I want to just quickly investigate what might have been a leak near the radiator. So there was some sort of leak down here. Now that could have been from a jet wash last week, or there could be a slight leak in the radiator. You can repair these leaks. You can tin them basically, or you can use solder, or even the high temp silicone stuff that I use. As long as you clean it and it's dry and you give it enough time to seal, you can fix these leaks. That's if there is one. So I want to kind of take some of the shrouding off and see what's going on with the radiator. If there is some sort of leak, then I'll repair it. A radiator is going to cost a bomb for that, so honestly there's no point doing that. Apart from that, I believe this is all sealed down here. As long as the new switch works, then it will get some good quality coolant, top it all up, test it all, and then it actually will be ready to go for this weekend, which is great. Hopefully someone will buy it, because the works have been done now on this bike. I expect it to last a while, so I'm going to have a little look at that. That's kind of the easy-ish part at this stage. The other thing I need to do is I need to start putting some of these parts on eBay. I just need to get rid of some of this, so I'm going to start taking parts off the GS500, this bike here, and start advertising them on eBay, because that's the whole point. It's a parts bike, it needs to go. The ZL600, I believe Nat is considering having it. He's going to give me a bandit for it. I'm in two minds. It's brave of Nat, but I know that Nat can do it. I know that Nat's quite specific about his stuff. He's not a bodge like me. He'll want the carbs done properly, and he'll do them properly. He'll research it and he'll buy the parts. I've basically put too much money into it now, and I can't justify putting any more into it. So giving it to the next person who wants to try is absolutely the right thing to do. It happens regularly on these channels, and I think Nat will do a great job on it. So if he takes that for the bandit, then that's spot on. So yeah, I'm going to do the little bits of work I was telling you about. Hopefully the switch turns up at some point. I can strip some of the parts off that GS in between, and then we'll have a good running BMW. Hopefully by the weekend, and hopefully it will sell. Because I need some funds, not just to get more projects, but to help people out, to do services, and to buy food. So I'm right here into the radiator, as you can see. We can see the whole thing, top and bottom. I'm kind of contemplating what the right thing to do is. The right thing to do at this stage is absolutely to top it back up with water, run it, and see where that leak's coming from. I can't see any obvious sign of a pinhole or a ding, and I've cleaned it right up. Now sometimes the hole can come from the core itself, this stuff, but normally it'd come from one of the sides. It was definitely this side, it was dripping. I'm going to top this system up and I'm going to run it to try and find that leak, because we know all the other stuff. We know that the thermostat housings, well, it's okay now anyway, and we know that the housing down here is okay now. We have to find this last kind of pinhole. If there is one, there may not be one. It may be that there was just loose coolant on the bike or from the jet wash and it was just dripping off. But I do want to fully check the radiator anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to top it up and we're going to get it up to temperature and have a good look, see what's going on. I believe we might find some sort of drip down here, but again, after looking at it, I can't see any obvious sign. So let's see. So we're topped up. I'm not going to do anything dramatic here. I'm going to burp it a little bit if it starts, and then wait for the coolant to start actually circulating. I'm not going to let it get to red. I don't want to mess with the head gasket, so I'm not going to let it get to red. It doesn't need to, but just kind of up to where the thermostat's opened. To be fair, this test also tells me if the thermostat housing is sealed and if the housing on the other side, the water pump housing, is sealed. So there you go, caps back on, let it get up to some sort of temperature, and then we'll make sure that there's no leaks anywhere. And if that's the case, then this system's ready to go. I will crack off I'll get out some of the fluid that's in there, and I'll get a good quality concentrated coolant. And we'll go 50-50 at least, and then this should be fine for kind of, you know, up to 5 years really. But for now, let me get it up to operating temperature, and then we'll have a good look around it and see, make sure there are no leaks. Right, zoom in, focus. This is perfect, guys. Here's our leak. Where am I looking? Right there. See that? So there's a pinhole right there, definitely. That's excellent news, really. It's right here, and that's very repairable, so that's great. No leaking from down here, this seal here. No leaking from the thermostat. Oh, hang on. A little leak from the thermostat housing, so I will get back on that and put a bit more sealer in there, and I'll drain it. I'll drain the cooling system now, and we can kind of do it all in one hit now. So that will be the last kind of straw. So a bit more sealant in there to make sure that's ready. I'll fix that hole in the radiator, and we should be absolutely good to go there. So that's good news really overall, guys. Let me drain this system out completely, because there's no point putting any product on here unless we've completely drained the system. Otherwise nothing will work or set. It needs to be dry. So I'll do that now. I'll do that using, what pipe should I use? This pipe here, bottom of the radiator. Perfect. So the whole cooling system is drained and dry now, so that's good. I'm going to look for my JB Weld. That's probably the best stuff to use on that pinhole. Failing that, you'd put some solder on it, but at the moment I haven't got any power up here, so I'd have to take the bike somewhere else, which is fine. But I think a bit of JB Weld, but you've got to clean it up, make sure it's fully dry, and yeah, and then obviously the JB Weld needs to set, which is fine. I can leave it overnight before actually topping it back up tomorrow. But what I do want to do is make sure the thermostat housing is sealed, and make sure I get on top of fixing this part here before the new fan switch turns up today. So this is great. Hopefully we pull this bike out tomorrow and it will kind of just be all ready to go. Okay, so I've done the thermostat housing properly. I've put a new bolt through. It's a bit more secure now, and we can get more seal basically, because I was a bit gentle on the last one, because it basically on the other side it was coming through. So I've put some washers and some bolts on the other side now, so that is absolutely secure. So this now should be a sealed system. Obviously I need to put this pipe back on. That's fine, I'll do that now in a minute, and then I'll leave the bike sit in the sun for a while, let all the silicones kind of seal, and it's going to be a few hours before the post turns up for the thermostat switch, the fan switch. When that does turn up, obviously I'll throw that on and we'll test the system again, In the meantime, I'm going to pick up some proper anti-freezing coolant to make sure that this is ready. I'll get a 5-year one so that we know that this is kind of a system that's just good and ready to go. Flushing the system, there's no point. I've been running water through it and I've been flushing it, so any crap in there should be flushed out already now. Getting it up to temperature with watering it and then dropping the water out will have got out almost everything in there, so I'm not worried about that. Just good quality coolant now that will help keep it all kind of sealed and secured. So in a couple of hours I'll get back to you and I'll let you know how this bike is. Hopefully it should be back up and ready for sale. It has its year's MOT, it rides beautifully, it pulls so strong in every gear, the brakes are great, you know, it's a lovely bike, I really enjoy it. So let's see. Hi everyone, welcome back. This is day 2 now, or day 3. Basically I did some filming yesterday and I didn't upload because it wasn't complete. So yes, so yesterday, just to quickly recap, I think I sealed the system now, so I think the thermostat housing should be sealed. This housing was sealed and fine, I haven't touched that there. And then we did this repair on the radiator here, which should be absolutely fine. That's what's it called? It's still basically it's putty, but that should be fine. That should hold the drip there. If not, I'll chip it back off and possibly take the radiator off and go for the soldering route. So what I need to do, here's the switch. Check out my new wallet. Here is the new switch, which isn't new, which is a bit of a shame because I was expecting it to be new, but saying that, you know, it should work. I haven't tested it because, you know, I know exactly what would happen. I'll pull it into that water, I'll hook up my multimeter and it won't change. So I thought I'm just going to warm up the bike, chuck this in and just pray to the biking gods. So obviously that goes in there, connect it up and we'll see. So all I'm going to do right now is top up this system with water. Again, get all the air out. Do it all properly now because I believe it's all sealed. Throw this in. If with the water in the fan comes on, I'm not going to get it fully up to temp. I'm going to drop the fluid again and go and get some proper coolant, top it all up again with proper coolant, do it all properly, and this bike will be ready to go and ideally sold this weekend because I need it to go for the space. I just want to show you, we're missing one bike. We're missing the Suzuki GS500 that sold yesterday. I put it up for £1,000, which is a good price I think for a 2000 GS500, and it sold for 900. It sold immediately, so that's good. The spare tank on that down there I sold on eBay last night, as long as they collect it, so that's gone as well. So I am kind of gently clawing back some money. I'm stupid though, because I actually bought a BMW off my uncle because he was selling it a bit cheaper than it should, because he didn't want the hassle of selling it. So I took £100, added 100 to it even though I'm skint, and bought a BMW. So now I'm more skint than I was yesterday, but I own a BMW that I don't want to use or run. And because he wants to do the logbook properly, I'm going to be sitting on the BMW for 5 days. But you know what? We'll deal with that at the time. So yes, so let me get all this system topped up, get this new switch in and test it. You know what's going to happen. The fan's just not going to turn on. We're going to be back at square one. But let's give it a shot. So we're following the same system as before. We're proper bled. There's water only in there. It's not coolant. We are looking for drips here in a minute. We are looking for drips here. And of course we're looking for drips here, and the main thing we're looking for is that the fan turns on at the appropriate time. So we just want to see this spinning. Yeah, so let's see how that goes. So in a minute we will have circulation. as in the thermostat will be opening, so we're getting up to temp up there, and that will let us know whether we're looking at grips or not. So far we're not looking at any grips there. So far we're not looking at any grips there, and there's no sign yet here on this repair of any grips. Obviously you give it another 5 minutes. The main thing here is that the fan turns on. If the fan turns on, I go and get some proper coolant, top it all up, bleed it, air it, piece the bike back together, give it a wipe and a clean, and we are good to go. We are back in business, and ideally the bike sells this weekend. So a couple more minutes, let's see how it goes. Look at that, guys. Nice. Fan is on. That is great news, we are good to go. Very good news. Excellent. I think it will continue to cool it until the switch itself is cooled down. There you go. Great, excellent. So you know what, guys, that is good work, and that's done. So I'm going to drain the water, go and get some nice coolant, and we're going to look at well, just piece it back together, get it back up for sale. It's going to be such a good bike for someone. I'm really pleased. So that switch down there was a dud. I'm not sure how they work, but there must be a switch inside there, and this one worked. So good cooling system, and also, to be fair, that cooled down really early. It was kind of much less than a double lines, so with a good coolant in here, this bike will be great. Good, I'm very pleased. Right, I'm going to start piecing back together, make this look like a bike again, give it a wipe down, go and get some decent coolant, and then we'll be good to go. So this is it now, guys. This is the fun part. Top up the coolant, piece it all back together, polish it up, throw the seat back on, and it's done. Somebody's coming to view this bike at around 6 tonight, so really it should be a done deal. They've offered 1100, and it's a great price, really. It's actually a great bike for the price as well. Some of these go up to 2 grand, some of them got to 2.5 grand with more mileage than this on eBay, so 1100 for someone is an absolute steal. I'm not going to film it, I'm just going to put all the bolts back in, piece it all back together, make it look like one big bike, show you exactly what it looks like. Check the tyre pressures, top them up a bit. Obviously the coolant needs to be topped up properly, and then we're good to go. I've bought concentrated coolant, so I'll tip in as much of that as I can get in and let it mix with whatever water's in the system. That should help it keep nice and cool. Okay guys, so that is it. That's the bike ready, prepped for sale. Some advice I'm going to give you for sale is that people will scrutinise your bikes. Absolutely, you know, to the point where they're quite rude. Because that's what they do, that's how they get a penny off. If, like me, you advertise your bikes extremely reasonably, you know, your prices are reasonable, then have a kind of lowest price in your mind and stick to it. The absolute worst is that you don't sell it today and you sell it tomorrow. This bike is meant to be going tonight for £1,100. I expect it to go for £1,100. I actually think it will go for £1,250 if I wait a few days. But for me, it's about, you know, doing the next bike, getting the next bike put back on the road. So keep that in mind. Polish your bike a little bit, make sure there's no dust on it, make sure the battery's charged, and that's it. Back off. Let the sale happen. Give people plenty of time. You need to have cash in your hand, or they need to prove that they're insured, and you need to see their license for them to ride it for long. If that's what happens with me, If I have cash in my hand, they can ride it for as long as they want. I don't care if they take it out for an hour. They have that long to scrutinise the bike and bring it back and then agree to take it. That way, if at any point they say, well, you know, something's gone wrong, a day, even an hour down the line, you can say, I'm sorry, but you know, you did try that bike and you agreed to buy it for that price. So don't stress too much. Get your bikes prepped. Find a kind of reasonable price online. Check all over the country, Gumtree, eBay, Spock, everywhere you can, Auto Trader, Facebook Marketplace, and pick a price and stick with it and wait. And that's it. So this bike I'm considering done now. This video I'm considering done. Hopefully this bike sells tonight or at least over the weekend. And people say these bikes are easy to work on. Carb wise, it's very difficult to work on. Getting the airbox out is very difficult. You have to take the whole back of the bike apart. Getting parts to this bike is difficult. You have to order them from Germany or Italy. But well worth doing the project. I'm very pleased. It's a lovely bike. I love it. I'm really glad we saved it. Any questions, as always, please ask. Fire away. Share the videos. Please subscribe. I think I'm at 550 now, which is amazing. I never expected to get anywhere near 500. If you haven't watched Nat's Knacker's Yard yet, do flick onto that channel. You'll definitely find him through comments in my channel. He's very, very good with bikes, and he is potentially taking on the ZL600 to finish that, which will be brilliant. So add him, subscribe him, comment to him. He's very good mechanically.